could you please introduce yourself and describe what you do?
Okay. My name is Aaron Young. I'm an artist. My practice involves painting, sculpture, performance, drawing, photo, more as documentation. If I can kind of like sum it up, I would probably say that basically I just experiment with ideas. And whatever the medium is the best thing that suits the idea.
Your success on the back of that has been pretty quick. I think you'd agree to that. MoMA saw your work when you were still at San Francisco Art Institute, right?
Yes.
And bought it.
Yeah.
Then you went straight into Yale's MFA program.
Yes.
Then Karen Rosenberg listed you as one of the sort of ready to watch straight out of the MFA. And she termed you, or said that you were capable of aestheticizing macho aggression. Do you think that's true?
I don't, depends on what you call macho aggression or how you would describe that. I guess I like things that have an aggression to them, but then I like that kind of, I don't know if mashed up is the right word for it, but I like it kind of more matched up with like a poetic side of things. I think that everything that I'm interested in also has a grace to it as well. So I don't know where macho has the grace. So I don't really understand that word macho, but I know, I've gotten jock art as well, but when you're categorized with other people, like with Richard Serra or Matthew Barney, then I guess that's pretty good company. Yeah.
Great company.
Yeah.
What, one of the things I found interesting in just looking into your work and obviously doing the initial research was when you image search your name, your face comes up more than your work comes up. Is that something that bothers you? Your persona is, and as you were just talking about with a fashion brand coming to you and saying you're this, you're that, does it bug you that you as a person are sort of in front of the work in some ways?
Basically, presentation is what our kind of culture is about. They try to put a pretty face on everything. I mean, I got what I got. People try to use it in different ways, I'm sure. I think that I would be racking my brain if I was trying to fight something like that. Of course, I would want the work first because that's where my passion lies. But as in any fashion brands or being in magazines or anything like that, I just kind of treat it as I got one life to live, and I'm extremely curious and probably too curious, and I kind of corner myself sometimes because I'm too curious. I want to experience everything. I want to go through everything. Whether it's good or bad, I make bad decisions sometimes on the things that I do. Maybe that creates some type of residue that might not be good for a career, but at the end of the day, I really don't give a fuck. I just want, I really want to just make strong work when the day is done.
Well, let's talk about the work then.
Sure.
Okay.
I wasn't kind of guiding you away from that. We can talk about that, as much as you like. We can talk about the work, whatever you want.
Let's talk about the work.
All right.
I want to talk about a little bit the motorcycle pieces, the burnouts.
Sure.
Can you describe them?
In which way do you want me to describe them? I mean, that's been such a part of my life, and artworks that you continuously make over, time, they change in your mind. The meaning adds up quite a bit. I don't think, from the first one that you described, that the MoMA purchased, it was the video, the very first piece that I made in art school. It wasn't a painting. I wasn't talking about painting. I was talking more about, and what I think is kind of the basis of my practice is an action and residue style of working, mark making. There's definitely, I lost my train of thought.
Do you think, that's interesting to me, because I think the work immediately feels like it's born out of abstract expressionism, but the way you're citing it and saying that MoMA bought the video and not a canvas, or not what you turn into a canvas, but that actually the performance and the way that, Marina Abramovich and Uli did the truck circling in a courtyard. Is that where it begins for you? Is it the performance?
I can actually tell you the inspiration. You want to know the inspiration for that work? Well, I'm a big follower of Rauschenberg, and there was a piece, I went to San Francisco Art Institute. There was a piece in SF MoMA which is a tire print. It's called Tire Print. And it's 8 pages of, I think, 8.5 by 11 foot paper, where Rauschenberg took the paper and he had like some black ink and a paintbrush, and John Cage was in the driver's seat of a truck and driving it down the street, and Rauschenberg was painting the tire and laying down the paper one after another and laying down the tire print. So that piece had always stuck with me. I was doing stuff, since I was a little kid, with like burnouts with, muscle cars and stuff like that. When I was a little kid, we had the Porta-Pack, and all of my friends had their, beefed up Camaros and things like that, and I was the kid that was filming it all. So all of these kind of like little pieces started to puzzle themselves together. There's also a piece by Rauschenberg that's a Race de Kooning's drawing. Now, basically, those two pieces by Rauschenberg is kind of, they're kind of mashed up to what that motorcycle performance or that first motorcycle video is. Basically, I told one motorcycle rider to do burnouts until he had no tire or he couldn't see anymore. So basically, he's making this kind of, let's say, macho drawing down on the ground, but all the smoke that's coming out is basically erasing that drawing at the same time. So basically, you have the tire print, and then you have the erase in it. So it worked really well on video. Perfect 3-minute like little moment there, and it that basically kind of sparked the whole practice of what I wanted to do in making art. So,
I mean, that's also interesting in a sort of dialogue or a debate about performance theory, right? You've got Peggy Phelan, who I know has since been knocked out of the running, but she always talked about the way in which performances had to be seen live, right? That you telling me about the piece just now isn't enough. I had to be there to actually get it, right? And then Amelia Jones comes along in that same history and talks about that actually the document of the work is as important as the having been there, right? Where do you think you fit in that? Do you feel that actually everyone should have been there?
I think it really depends on the performance. When when I did the 2007 performance with called the Greeting Card with at the Park Avenue Armory in New York, I wanted, you know, tons of people to be there, but it became almost just an invite thing, and there was only 500 people. I wanted to fill the entire space. I don't know why. I don't what it was with the word getting out or anything like that, but you know, with documentation, and especially with the age that we live in with YouTube and everything like that, I think that whole ambition of having this performance just for a certain amount of people is way more into kind of like an elitist thing than that our culture is about now. I really don't think. I mean, I really think that you can get as much from. No, I can't say that. You have. There's some things that you have to be there for. But if you can't be there, video's the next best thing, I guess.
Did you, with Greeting Card, did you sell the video of that work, or is that just
I never put up any of the video. I don't like to put video up. I'm putting it up on a website now just because I've kind of said, you know what, I haven't been able to show this enough. But no, we sold the paintings.
Did you? So that brings
the
me. The
video wasn't for sale.
It wasn't.
No.
And did you always want to sell the paintings as separate pieces, or could you ever imagine that the painting all staying together as one single piece?
Yeah, that's what I would have loved to have happened. Things just didn't work out that way.
How come?
You had to pay for the performance too. You know, everything has its cost.
Okay, so how about then, talk to me about the piece you've just done here. So the piece that opened last night, you used a blowtorch to burn the walls. I've only read this, I didn't get to see it. So you used a blowtorch to burn the walls downstairs of the gallery, right?
Yeah. I've basically blowtorched all of the walls of the gallery as the backdrop for a suite of paintings that I made in New York that are made through pigment dyes, bleach, and blowtorching.
And then there are canvases upstairs as well. Is that right?
No. It's just one room. It's just one room. So you have the blowtorch walls, and you have, I believe the canvases are 5.5 by 6.5 feet. And I believe there's 9 pieces in the show, and they hang on top of the blowtorch walls.
What's going to happen to the walls?
It's all one piece, basically. It's just like we're saying about the floor from the performance. I would love to have that room just go as itself, because they all bounce off of each other. They're all transitions in the production and experimentation with these type of action paintings. Just like a motorcycle is burning out from one panel to the next, it's all connected. So all of these works that are in that one room, they're all connected together. Yeah, I would love for them to stay as a little family, but things don't work like that all the time.
Yeah, there's art commerce, right? We all need patronage to make art. It's true, though.
Yeah, no, of course. Hey, it's reality.
It is reality. What just sort of outside of your work, but what do you think about, there's such a trend at the moment of artists collaborating with brands. And I know that you did do for Greeting Card. Tom Ford was involved in some way. But lots of artists now are doing some interesting things. I mean, Marina, her alignment with Adidas recently is quite a clever move for her, and also keeps the integrity of the work. But some other people have maybe not walked that terrain as quite as finely and as well and as balanced as she has. What do you think about art and fashion colliding? I
don't think it's anything new. this has been happening for a long time. I think it's just a little bit more up in your face now, and because of the commerce, it's a lot more up in your face. And also, artists are the new celebrities, right? Is that, and what you're saying about having my face up there more than the work up there is that basically the persona of what you do or the stories of what you do start to become a little bit greater than the objects that they're from. And that's the beaming thing about Marina too, is that her persona has become bigger than a lot of the performances or the work that's become or that she's done.
Yeah, I think that's totally true. Just shifting from that and focusing back on your work, titles seem to have big meanings for you. You have famously a tattoo across your arm that says "Never plead guilty." So I was slightly worried you weren't going to answer any question like completely straightforwardly, but words are obviously a big part of your work. You've made some paintings with the same phrase on it, but I'm actually most interested in talking about a sculpture that you've done called Blue Balls, which
what sculpture is that?
Is a very phallic fist rising out of a floor. It's blue. It's very polished. There's also a pink one coming out of a wall.
Did I title that Blue Balls?
You did title it.
I don't know. Okay, I know the sculpture that you're talking about.
Well, this may be one of those funny.
I think it might. I think with a lot of my work and like even the new blowtorch paintings, after we burn them, we douse them with water, and there's a chemical reaction that actually splits the canvas. So I'm always looking for tension in a work, and now we got the physicality of the tension in it. And I'm sure that I was talking about some type of physicality or tension, and giving it some humor as well. And the sculpture is blue.
Yes,
right? Yeah.
Very blue.
It's very blue.
It's very blue, thrusting out of a floor.
Yeah.
Pretty phallic.
Yeah.
Pretty sexual in its reference.
Yeah. So
fisting seems to come up.
Yeah. I mean, they're, as in, we'll keep on using the word, the macho thing is that, the macho guys and, the talk that they use and the slang that they use and everything like that is incredibly crude a lot of the time. And I think, what I've always loved about titling work or even describing, critiquing work is I hate all of that. I went to Yale University and I got so sick of all of the critique with all of the heavy kind of art forum speak and stuff like that. And I wanted to talk about work in more of slang terms, of more kind of like things that had more free flow in them and could be interpreted more in not an easier way, but in multiple ways. I don't want things to be so concrete.
What?
And that's what slang kind of is to me. It can be interpreted so many different ways. There's a piece that I have at Art Basel right now in the Kukce booth. It's a steel piece, and it's from a fold. The way that they deliver cocaine in New York is they fold it up into this paper pocket that they usually rip out of a magazine. Basically it's a piece of steel that has the folds in it, but it looks like it's ripped off of a page of a weather report, and it's a hurricane over the top of Miami. And I titled the piece Big Daddy Kane, so that's going to not only reference the cocaine reference, it's also going to reference what they name, storms, tornadoes or hurricanes or anything like that with like a Big Daddy. It's also going to reference hip hop in the rhythm and the kick of the drum, the thumping of the bass, everything like that has that tremendous power in a storm. So I want that type of slang in a title to, proliferate in so many different ways. I don't want it to be pinned down. I want it to be free-flowing.
That makes perfect sense. What though then is that piece about for you? Is it about frustration? Is it about sexual frustration? Is it what's it about for you?
No, but I don't think that it should be just based with blue balls. I think that blue balls, yes, you could put it as a sexual frustration, but I think that it's just a blanketed frustration. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that it needs to be concrete in just a sexual thing. It does have all that kind of tension and power in that sculpture and coming up from the floor. I think it even being lodged down to the ground and being grounded is a frustrating kind of bit too. There's no mobility in it.
Yeah, I see that. They to me do read incredibly, both the pink one and the blue one. I don't know if there's others in the series, but
yeah, there's a purple one.
Great.
But I don't think that I can't remember what the pink one is titled. They're not all titled blue balls.
No.
Yeah.
They're not.
Yeah.
Blue balls just interested me.
And actually, the pink one comes out of the wall.
Right, more of a glory hole.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Good reading, though.
Thank you.
Good reading.
Going on though with titles, I'd like to talk a little bit about a piece which I'm not going to read the whole title, though I do have it in front of me, but it's focus on the four dots.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
focus on the four dots in the middle of the painting for 30 seconds, then close your eyes and tilt your head back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that was interesting to me because obviously it's a direction. That's a performance. You're asking your artist or your audience to perform something for you.
It's also seeing a painting by closing your eyes. It's a form of actually going through the process physically of erasure.
Can you just explain exactly what happened? So who do you see when you shut your eyes?
That kind of depends on your constitution, right? I mean, I know that some people have seen Jesus, some people have seen Che Guevara.
My husband said John Lennon.
Ah, good. I've never heard John Lennon. I mean, I've had friends that say Dash Snow. So it all depends, I love that artwork because it really fucks with the person's frame of mind and whatever is kind of in the residue of their thoughts at that time when they encounter this situation. And also, it kind of investigates their own religion, their politics. I don't want to use the word kind of raping, but it does kind of rip you apart a little bit.
Well, and we were talking about it in the lead up to this and sort of discussing your work and that it is a bit of this like magical, we all want to look at art and see our God, right? We all want that moment, that like Whistler, take me away from here, escape. And that's what that work does a bit. Right? It's just you're left with whatever it is that you see.
It also makes you incredibly vulnerable.
How do you think?
Well, you're in a white box with your eyes closed with people around you. So you and the phenomenon, the focus of, what you've done. It's an it's called a elliptical burn, basically. And basically, you're in this state where you have to open your eyes to not see what's coming at you. I don't know if you see it the way that I see it. Nobody knows if anybody sees it the way that they see it themselves. Everybody has a different kind of prescription of the way that they see, whether it's 20/20 or whatever. So everybody has, I mean, it's a physical thing, it's a mental thing, I think it's a really, I don't know, maybe that's too pretentious to say that it's a total art experience, but, you know, maybe it's performative. It's exactly what I wish that I could do every single time I make a piece, let's say that.
The aesthetic of it, though, is so different from the rest of your work. And in fact, that's something you do. I mean, the fist from the burnout paintings to this, they're all totally different.
Yeah, but not in concept, though. Not in concept at all. There is this residue or an illusion of a residue that's just been put onto you. I mean, that's almost like a scarring of your memory. I had, like for the piece that you're talking about, Close Your Eyes, there was a Peruvian woman who was the housekeeper of a collector that had one of those paintings in their house, and she went through the ritual of looking at that painting, and they almost had to call an emergency. They almost had to take her to the hospital, and because she actually thought that she saw God. And you know, when you have something like that, I mean, I don't know. That's actually. With that painting, I think that the best place, and it can be really site-specific as well, because it's in the Tel Aviv Museum, so I actually brought Jesus back to the Holy Land.
Well done. Do you think art has to be difficult? Do you think there has to be just that? Does it have to be difficult?
I think it needs to be layered, and I think that there should be layers of difficulty. I don't think that there should be just one level or one layer to it. I think it needs to continue to peel back over years. I think that there's components in every single work, and one of the most important ones, I think, is time. Time changes things. Time always will, history is a sketchbook. Maybe that's a really bad quote, but, that artwork is going, no matter how concrete that, the image is for people or the instructions are or anything like that, it's still going to change over time and people's perceptions of it. So I think that, yes, if you want just a yes or no answer, yes, it does need to be difficult.
Does it have to be difficult to make? I mean, all your work is pretty difficult to make.
No, I don't think that it needs to be difficult to make. I think that if an artist can point out something that maybe I know, and he points out something that I know, and then he changed my mind about it very simply, I don't think that he had to do much work to it. You mean like a laborious work or anything like that? No, I don't think so.
And what about being an artist, as in the performance of all the things you have to go through, the showing up at art fairs, the making sure you're talking to the right dealers at the right time. That's all, for some artists, really difficult, right? But going through those layers and those postures, which are postures, playing that game, do you think that has to be difficult? Do you think that is difficult?
I hate talking about that stuff. I don't want to talk about that stuff.
That's fair enough. That's totally fair enough. What on that note, then let's end with what are you working on now? What's the thing you're most excited about?
You know, what could I say? I'm really excited right now about just how the flow in my studio is going. I think that everything's in a really good place. I have great people that I'm working with right now, from galleries to assistants that really know their shit, and they're into the ideas. They're super supportive, and you can't really ask for much more than that. And when you're comfortable in that space, then your imagination is freed up, and you can kind of explore things that you have more confidence to explore. So you know, I'm excited just not to just. I don't want to hold myself back from anything, but at the same time, just keeping focused on, what I'm doing.